Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Disidores here. It is Tuesday, April 28th, and I am here to read the rest of Chapter 5 for our first and second graders of Gooney Bird Greene. So we left off with Chapter 5 with Gooney Bird was late to school, and all the kids were really upset because they love hearing her stories each and every day, and they thought she was absent, but really she said that she was late for school because she was directing a symphony orchestra. Now, if you're not sure what an orchestra is, it's the instruments that you play. There's violin, there might be a guitar, there might be a cello. There's all different beautiful music. It's called classical music that they make. So she said that she was late because she was being the conductor, the person that stands at the front of the orchestra, being the conductor. Now, we know that Gooney Bird always tells very true, absolutely true stories. So let's see what happened and why she was late to school. So she's going to be telling the class this story of what happened to her that morning. Okay. Why Gooney Bird was late for school because she was directing a symphony orchestra. That's the title. Once upon a time, in fact, it was just this morning, Gooney Bird Greene got up and got dressed in the clothes that she had carefully laid out the night before. She ate her breakfast, brushed her teeth with her pre-pasted toothbrush, gathered up her homework, put on her elbow-length gloves, and started off to the Water Tower Elementary School. Gooney Bird interrupted herself. She explained to the teacher in the class. Sometimes stories start in the most ordinary way. Then they become exciting when something unexpected happens. Don't you find that to be true? The children nodded, thinking about their favorite stories. Like Where the Wild Things Are, Ben suggested. Or Little Red Riding Hood, Beanie said, when the wolf appears and you don't expect it. Oh, I'm so scared of the wolf, Kiko said loudly. Every time the wolf appears, Shh, the children said. Gooney Bird continued. Gooney Bird walked down Park Street and turned the corner onto Walnut Street. And when she was halfway down Walnut Street, halfway to school, suddenly, she paused. I have explained before, she said, about the word suddenly. It makes things exciting. Sometimes, class, if you're creating a story and you get stuck, just say the word suddenly, and you won't have any trouble continuing at all. What a good idea, Mrs. Pigeon said. We should start a list called Writing Tips. What happened suddenly on Walnut Street, Gooney Bird? Gooney Bird continued. Suddenly she saw an enormous red and white bus coming, very slowly. Each window had a head in it. The bus was quite full of people. Gooney Bird was amazed. Even though she had lived in Water Tower only a short time, about a week, she knew that the town of Water Tower did not have enormous red and white buses. Water Tower had two medium-sized yellow school buses, Gooney Bird knew. And she also knew that one of the Water Tower churches had a small white bus, really a long van, that had a rainbow painted on it and said Jesus is Lord on each side. But an enormous red and white bus was completely new to Water Tower. As Gooney Bird watched, it moved very, very slowly down Walnut Street. She could see that the driver, though he was steering carefully, was also trying to look at a map in his hands. The bus driver saw Gooney Bird, and he beeped his horn, a very small beep. He pulled the bus to a stop with the breathy sound of brakes. Then he pushed the handle that opened the front door. Excuse me, the bus driver said. You look as if you're on your way to school. Yes, I am, Gooney Bird replied, and I certainly don't want to be late. I am never, ever late. The bus driver looked as if he might begin to cry. I feel exactly the same way, he said. I am never, ever late, but this morning I have a terrible problem. He held up his own unfolded map. Do you need help folding your map? Gooney Bird asked. It is hard to fold a map, but I find that if you follow the creases very carefully, no, the bus driver said. My problem is that I'm lost. Oh dear, Gooney Bird said. And the driver continued, we are going to be late for a concert. A concert? Yes, I have an entire symphony or orchestra on this bus. Gooney Bird paused. Questions about orchestra? She asked. Class? Barry Tuckerman was waving his hand wildly. We know all the parts of an orchestra. We listened to a young person's guide to the orchestra. Winds, Ben called. Strings, Trisha called. She pretended to play an imaginary violin. Brass, Chelsea called. She tried to make a trombone noise, not very successfully. Percussion, said Malcolm loudly, and he began to tap 2 pencils in rhythm on his desktop. And also, Barry called out, his hands still waving wildly, we listened to Peter and the Wolf. Oh, Pico said in a small voice, I hate when the wolves come out. Every time the wolf appears, I... Shh, the children said. Gooney Bird continued her story. All right, so let me see how far we're going to go today. We're going to stop there for today, okay? So far we have Gooney Bird telling her story, okay? She sees a bus that's lost, and the bus driver needs help getting to their play or their orchestra. They're going to a concert. They're going to play. So I am making a prediction about a story that Gooney Bird's going to help out somehow. Okay? So we will continue Chapter 5 tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you're enjoying this chapter book. And have a wonderful day. It's actually sunny out today, so get outside and play, kids. Miss you all. Stay well.